तो थोड़ा अबान बताइए आपने असाइनमेंट्स वगैरह कैसे क्या डेवलपमेंट है, कितने आपने कर लिए हैं?
यस सर, असाइनमेंट्स मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ। वीक 3 के ऑलमोस्ट मतलब मैंने असाइनमेंट्स देखे सर, और उसके लेक्चर्स भी मैंने देखे। और बाकी सर आपके प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग सेशन का मैंने 1 वीक देखा, फर्स्ट वाला वीक। यस सर।
बाकी पुराने वाले आपने देख लिए हैं, राइट?
जी, पुराने वाले पूरे नहीं, जैसे आपके प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग सेशन वाले।
हम्म।
नहीं सर, पिछला वाला मैंने देखा, और 3 आपके 2 देखे, बाकी एक पहला रिकॉर्डेड देखा।
अच्छा, और अभी जो चल रहा है वीक 8 कंटेंट वगैरह?
जी, उसका सर मैंने अभी तो नहीं देखा। हाँ, मतलब आप समझाते हैं ना थ्रू क्वेश्चंस, तो वो समझ आ जाता है मुझे।
हाँ, चलो अच्छी बात है। इफ
जी
दैट इज
सर।
हेल्पिंग यू। ठीक है, सो गिव मी अ मिनट और हम शुरू करेंगे सेशन। So, very good evening to all the learners. Here we are at the week 9 of our course on understanding incubation and entrepreneurship. So, it's a 12-week course, and we have already covered 8 weeks. So, two-third of the portion of this particular course has been completed. हम दो तिहाई हिस्सा कवर कर चुके हैं, and now we reach on to the last leg of this particular course and the content, which would include from week 9 to week 12. So, अगर हम आज का सेशन एक्सक्लूड करते हैं तो हमारे पास वीक 10, वीक 11, वीक 12 आएगा. So the next 3 weeks we'll be completing the course content, and उसके बाद हम लोग एक एक्स्ट्रा सेशन रखेंगे of 1 hour, just to give a brief understanding of the examination and the important aspects of the examination. और साथ ही साथ किन चीज़ों का हमें ध्यान रखना है when we are going for the physical examination, right? Uh, so, like I've been doing in all my previous sessions, so in the presentation deck we have certain sections. Like the initial section, how we begin with our session is with the set of protocol slides, जहाँ पे हम हर बार कुछ चीज़ों को रिपीट करते हैं. The reason being that we have been informed that there can be and might be a new learner in any of the problem solving sessions. और इसीलिए हम कुछ चीज़ों को जो कि महत्वपूर्ण है, the things which are important, उनको हम रिपीट करते हैं, बार बार बताते हैं, कन्वे करते हैं, so that even if a learner visits or sees only one of the problem solving session, then also the important aspects are conveyed, right? So that remains our intent, that the beneficiary are the learners, even if they are attending a single session. Now, this entire deck consists of few sections, like I mentioned. The first part is a set of protocol slides, जहाँ पे हम मार्किंग क्राइटेरिया, सर्टिफिकेशन क्राइटेरिया, some important deadlines and dates we tell. This is followed by a brief overview of the past content, जो कि हम बहुत ही briefly touch करते हैं. And then we have a set of 10 questions, जिनको हम समझते हैं, समझाते हैं through screenshots of the content. We try to validate what is the correct answer. And once that is over, and when we have remaining time, then we also cover the content recap, right? So कई बार ऐसा होता है कि the learners don't get enough time to go through the content, or the learner might be a professional or a student, and उनकी कोई प्रोफेशनल कमिटमेंट्स हो सकते हैं, एकेडमिक कमिटमेंट्स हो सकते हैं, जिसकी वजह से दे आर अनेबल टू सी द कंटेंट, एंड दैट इज वेयर हमारी जो इंटेंट रहता है वो ये रहता है कि whichever the scenario is, these people should be able to at least have a look at what has been covered in that particular week in the form of quick snippets. Snippets are basically screenshots from the video content. तो ये कुछ चीजें हैं जो कि हम कवर करते हैं, एंड देन यू हैव the references, and there are certain questions which had been posted in the discussion forum जो कि हम discuss करेंगे. Right. So the course name is Understanding Incubation and Entrepreneurship. The instructor of the course is Professor V.K. Chakravarti sir, and my name is Abhishek. I am the teaching assistant for this particular course. Uh, Telling a very brief background of myself, uh, I did my bachelor's of architecture and master's of industrial design from School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi, which is central government institute. After pursuing my postgraduate studies, I worked at companies like Infosys, Think Design, as a user interface designer. After that, I started my own company. So I also have some experience with entrepreneurship, and wherein we were doing design consultancy and upcycling. So I worked as a director of that startup for almost 2.5, 3 years, and then I started my journey into teaching. So I taught at various design education institutes, and again after working for like 3, 4 years, I realized that let's again become a student. So I started my doctoral journey. So basically, I'm a PhD student at the Department of Design IIT Roorkee as of now, and I'm running in my third year of my research journey. So we will proceed with the session for today. So as I mentioned, these are the initial set of slide deck. If you have already seen it, you can relax for a while. But we'll try and cover all these points in each of the passing sessions. So these sessions are here to help you in the current term of course, which basically means that the entire course is of 12-week duration, and every week we cover that specific week's content, right? So in our session today, we'll be covering the week 9 content. So we have already covered till week 8, and today is the day where we cover the week 9 content. All right. We shall discuss and solve week specific assignments. So like I mentioned that we are discussing the week 9 content. So वो week specific है. So like the previous week was for week 8 content. Today it's for the week 9 content. And we'll cover a set of 10 questions. These are new questions, and other than the live assignment. Why? Because live assignments are basically there to assess you and evaluate. Because on the basis of it, the evaluation से जो marks आएंगे वो आपके internals में count होंगे, which will be added on with externals to generate an overall score, which will basically lead you to the certification. Right? So everything is linked and dependent. There is a cause and effect here. So to enhance your learning, we have a set of 10 questions, a new set of 10 questions to enhance the learning. How it will help? It will help you in broader understanding of the content. It will help you in understanding the typology of questions, what other ways the questions can be asked, and to provide you with additional question set, additional question bank. ठीक है. So when we do these set of 10 questions, so 10 questions multiplied by 12 week, it's around 120 questions. You have a similar number of questions from your weekly assignments. So you have a pool of 240 questions. And when we'll be discussing the extra session, we'll be having 10 more questions. So in and all, you will be having 250 questions, which is a very decent question pool to help you with your final exam. All right. So in these sessions, we respond to the queries and the questions. So all the learners are invited to ask questions. If you have any doubt, you can actually get clarity from these sessions. It can be pertaining to the content and it can also be pertaining to the conduct of this entire course in terms of examination and if there are any other tertiary issues. The content recap of the ongoing week is something which we cover as a in a slide deck. जैसे कि मैंने बताया स्लाइड डेक में हमारे पास प्रोटोकॉल स्लाइड्स होती हैं. Then we do a content recap. Then we have 10 questions. And then we have snapshot summary. And finally, you have questions on discussion forum. Right. So इतनी चीजें हम लोग कवर करते हैं. And what also we do is we try to see the actual NPTEL portal as well. क्योंकि कई बार कुछ चीजें and the links and the resources, these needs to be made aware the location of such resources. For all that, we also look at very frequently we look at the actual NPTEL portal to identify where are the different resources kept and which can be made accessible for your learning at during the exam time. Right? आगे बढ़ते हैं. So there are certain ethical aspects which we try and follow, and we request all the participants and all the learners to keep your mics on mute. And the reason being that these sessions are being recorded and uploaded, and we would want a decent sound quality. That's the reason we request everyone to keep on mute. But if you have any questions, if you have any doubts, or when we are posing the questions for your views, your opinions, what could be the right answer, then you are welcome to speak. So उन परिस्थितियों में आप अनम्यूट करके बोल सकते हैं, अन्यथा we request कि आप अपना माइक म्यूट पे रखें. Also we request questions to be posted on the discussion forum functionality जो कि आती है आपकी ask a question tab से. You click here and you can basically raise a question for further understanding. The questions here basically is visible to all the NPTEL learners of this course. So all those who are registered participant will actually be able to see the questions. The NPTEL team members can also have a look at it. And in fact, the TAs can also have a look at it. So in a sense, the moment you post a question, we all can have a look at it. And if I respond to it, then, again, all the stakeholders can still access it. So it's a great functionality. Please utilize it for your advantage. And better learning. Right? So that's all. Continuing further, uh, the slide is basically around recording in the presentation location. So, like I mentioned, all the content which I'm generating is made visible to all the learners, and we do it in two ways. The problem solving sessions are recorded and uploaded in YouTube, while the presentations are converted into PDFs and which are uploaded on Google Drive. Now, both these are on open access in a certain sense because anybody with a link can actually open it. Right. So, if you want to access these sessions, on the left pane, this is the left pane, and at the bottom, you'll be able to see the problem solving session. The moment you click here, you'll be able to get another link which says click here, and then it will lead you to the spreadsheet. And in that spreadsheet, you will have week-wise content which you can actually access. So in the different columns, so there are different columns, and different columns you will get YouTube links. However, there will be just one column for the shared drive location. However, when you click here, you will be able to see all the PDFs till week 8. Similarly, in the YouTube link, you find it the links till week 8. And week 9 links will be uploaded by tomorrow. So it's again a comprehensive repository which you can easily access to quickly, locate all these sessions in the PDFs as well as the video files. Talking about the course overview, everybody now knows the course is Understanding Incubation and Entrepreneurship. The course instructor is Professor Vicky Chakrabarti sir, who is from the IDC School of Design at IIT Bombay. And he also heads the DIC, which is the Design Innovation Center. So they have done many projects, and some of them are also as a part of case studies from the DIC in the course, which includes the India's post box. Then there's the solar oven case study. Right. So there are numerous case studies which they did under DIC, and they are being covered as a part of the course content as well. Right. So the current run of course is 12 weeks, and the week 9 deadline is 25th of September, which is tomorrow. Right. So if you have not submitted the assignment, uh, I think it's quite urgent that you do it by tomorrow. The exam date is 26th of October. All right. And you can be given any of the two slots. It can be either the pre-lunch or the post-lunch. We'll have to go to a physical center. So just like you appear in your class 10th and 12th board exams, the same way you need to appear for your NPTEL exam. You will have to go in person to the center, and you have to sit in the examination and you have to appear. Okay. So coming on to the NPTEL login page, you also see a tab called Progress tab, which actually helps you assess your or self-evaluate yourself. So depending upon how much the content, so your self-evaluation is happening through content एक्सरसाइज उसमें दोनों एस्पेक्ट्स हैं प्रोग्रेस के। अगर आप देखो कंटेंट एक्सेस तो मतलब आपने कितना कंटेंट क्लिक किया, आपने कितना कंटेंट देखा, समझा, देखा बेसिकली समझने वाला एस्पेक्ट आपके मार्क्स मार्क्स ऑब्टेन से, जो कि आप वीक असाइनमेंट से समझ में आते हैं। टर्न ऑफ माय कैमरा, इसमें बहुत बैंडविड्थ चला जाता है, बट वी रीस्टार्टेड व्हेन वी आर डूइंग फिजिकल डिस्कशन। ठीक है, आगे बढ़ते हैं। एग्जामिनेशन सर्टिफिकेट एस्पेक्ट, नाउ दिस इज अनदर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट बिकॉज जो ज्ञान है वो फ्री है, which means anybody who is interested and willing to learn from this course, they are free to enroll and learn upfront. But if there is a need of certification, जैसा कि हम देखते हैं कि बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स ज्वाइन करते हैं and they have a credit requirement. Okay, they have a credit requirement, which means the credit obtained from this course is basically included and as a part of their academic evaluation. ठीक है, तो जहां क्रेडिट रिक्वायरमेंट होती है वहां पे आपको सर्टिफिकेट की जरूरत पड़ती है, विच यू नीड टू शो टू योर रिस्पेक्टिव कॉलेज। ठीक है, और जाहिर है आपको एग्जामिनेशन में बैठना होता है विच इज इन पर्सन एंड एट एनी डेजिग्नेटेड एग्जाम सेंटर। डेजिग्नेटेड एग्जामिनेशन सेंटर आता है आपकी चॉइसेस से, जो आप चॉइसेस फॉर्म फिलिंग के दौरान भरते हैं। चॉइस ऑफ सेंटर इज समथिंग विच यू फिल डिपेंडिंग अपॉन योर प्रॉक्सिमिटी एंड व्हाटएवर अदर फैक्टर्स आते हैं, और उनमें से कोई एक सेंटर आपको अलॉट होता है। The fee for examination and certification is 1,000 rupees. However, the last date was 23rd of August. आगे बढ़ते हैं। Now, again, a couple of important slides which we will discuss with examples. So here we say that there are three components of your overall final score. One is the internal component, plus the external component, and then you have the final score. Okay. So internal component is given a weightage of 25%. External को हम 75 देते हैं, so that your overall is summation of them, which is percent. Now the best part is that NPTEL only accounts the best 8 assignments. Okay, so it is a good functionality because there might be certain assignments in which you are unable to perform well. So that is why they only take care of the best 8 assignments. ठीक है, another aspect is that each of these have a certain individual criteria for certification, which means here you need to have marks greater than 10 out of 25, greater than 30 out of 75, so that your overall is by default greater than 40 out of 100. Now let's take a couple of scenarios to make you understand, how these marks can actually play a big role in your earning of certificate or not. Right? Scenarios को समझना जरूरी है, बिकॉज अगर आपको पता होगा तो आप उसी हिसाब से परफॉर्म करोगे, ट्राई करोगे, एटलीस्ट अटेम्प्ट करोगे। Okay. So there could be a scenario where you get 20 out of 25. You get 25 out of 75. So your total is 45 out of 100. आप देखो कि आप ये सिनेरियो मीट कर रहे हो, पहला वाला मीट कर रहे हो पर ये मीट नहीं कर रहे हो. सो इस सिनेरियो में यू वोंट गेट अ सर्टिफिकेट. Let's take the scenario 2. You performed badly here, you got only 5. However, you performed exceptionally well. So your total becomes 55 out of 100. You are meeting this criteria, you are meeting this criteria, but you are not meeting this criteria. Again, sorry. Okay. So what we are saying is that qualifying these criteria are also very, very important to earn your overall score, which is more than 40, so that you can earn a certificate. ठीक है. मेन हमारा एम क्या है? To get a valid proof that we have passed this particular course and we have earned it. Now इसमें भी कई सारे होते हैं, elite plus gold, silver and all those things जो कि हम देखेंगे the later stages. आगे बढ़ते हैं. This has been the week-wise content which we have covered. We started with the week one and from the very basics of entrepreneurship with a panel discussion from the people who took the services of GDC. This was followed by the methodology of innovation explained by Professor Chakravarti, and then the ideas program of ID Bombay. This was followed by week 5, which started with the healthcare and medtech success stories. And then it was about human-centered innovation, where we discussed insights from Ms. Shilpi and Mr. Dhayan from F1 Studios and Post Labs, respectively. The week 7 was about humanizing technology and business model canvas. And week 8 turned out to be the session wherein we discussed about the sign incubator and the success stories of various other startups, one of which was Atombug, which was from IT Bombay itself, Manoj Meenas. And finally, we are here at week 9, where we are discussing the incubation facilities at IIT which is Hyderabad. So there is ITIC, there is CFH, which is the Center for Healthcare Entrepreneurship, and then other than that, there is ICA and FabCI, Fab Chip Industry, and many more. E-Cell, right? तो बहुत सारी चीजें हम डिस्कस करेंगे. All right. So there are two typology of questions. One in which there is a single correct answer, and one which has multiple correct answers. All right. This is denoted by a radio button which is having a circular shape. This is denoted by a square button which is depicted like this. Right? So single selection would mean which paratha you want. I can opt for only one of the options. It can be either paneer, aloo, gobi or mix. So maybe I'll choose this. And then what do you want in your burger? I can want multiple things in my burger. Okay. So obviously, since it's a multiple choice, there will be options greater than one, which are correct. So you mark this, this, this. In fact, there could be scenarios where all of them might be correct. However, choices of these questions can actually needs to be thoughtful because the way you choose these options can actually land you with proportionate marking. ठीक है वो भी हम सिनेरियो आगे डिस्कस करेंगे बिकॉज दैट्स अगेन अ ट्रिकी वन and here we are in the case of marking of multiple choice questions, right? So let me write a question and then we will discuss this simply. Well, I'm just trying to find out a good question. Just give me a minute. We have already, seen a lot of examples from cricket, so I want a little different one, so that at least we have some variety of questions there. Okay, so let's take this example. Which among the below is not a national symbol of Australia? ठीक है ऑप्शन है कपल एक वाला here राइट ठीक है तो अगर आप क्वेश्चन को देखें आप पूछ रहे हैं विच अमंग द बिलो इज नॉट नेशनल सिंबल ऑफ ऑस्ट्रेलिया ठीक है सो अगर हम क्वेश्चन को देखें नेशनल सिंबल ऑफ ऑस्ट्रेलिया क्या है तो ये बता सकता है ऑस्ट्रेलिया इज correct answer for this question is kangaroo. However, we are asking which among the below is not a national symbol, which means the correct answers for this question would be koala, emu, and crocodile. ठीक है क्योंकि हमने पूछा which among them below is not a national symbol. National symbol of Australia is kangaroo, बट हम नॉट लगा दे रहे हैं तो क्वेश्चन का पूरा पूरा मीनिंग चेंज हो जाता है ठीक है So let's take the scenario one, which says if all the options chosen are correct and no incorrect, so this is clear. So if I choose B, C, and D and I submit it, I get full marks. Right? If I take scenario two, if at least one incorrect answer has been chosen, then no marks. So maybe I select A, C, and D or A, B, and C likewise. I will not get any marks because I have chosen the correct answer, which is A here. Scenario three is if only the correct answers are chosen, but not all correct answers are chosen. For example, I submit BC or I submit BD or I just submit C. In all these scenarios, I'll get some proportionate marks. ठीक है, तो वो डिपेंड करेगा हमने कितने सेलेक्ट किया और उस proportions पे हमें वो मार्क्स मिलते हैं. So if there is still a doubt, we can discuss it deliberately. Here comes the GMET learners from our previous week, which is Nagoi, Pare, and Aman Mohammed. Both of them have been pretty regular and consistent in our previous sessions up till now. So, big congratulations to you. Your consistency means a lot because it's going to tell you that how much eager you guys are to learn about the course and to perform in your examinations. Okay. So well done, both of you, and I hope to see you in the further sessions. So here we start the question bank with the first question. Question says, as discussed by Professor Surya in module 9, select from below as appropriate. Okay. Now, the question is regarding the incubation facility name and the domain which it supports. ठीक है. तो question को अगर आप I would suggest that please give a time yourself a time and read the question and then we will start uh, decoding it. ठीक है. So just give a minute to yourself, take a minute to read the question और फिर हम इसको डिस्कस करेंगे. Let me have a quick check on the recordings. All right. The right. So everything is spot on. तो इसको थोड़ा एक बार पढ़िए और गिव अ मिनट टू योरसेल्फ, ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड द क्वेश्चन. जो ऑप्शंस दिए हैं उनको थोड़ा ध्यान से पढ़िएगा बिकॉज यू नो मल्टीपल क्वेश्चंस कैन बी फ्रेम्ड फ्रॉम दिस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन. ओके, तो give yourself some time and then we'll try to resolve this. थोड़ा सोचिए समझिए और फिर हम इसको अटेम्प्ट करेंगे. ठीक है, आई थिंक हमने सफिशिएंट टाइम दिया है क्वेश्चन को समझने के लिए। लेट्स प्रोसीड विद द अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द क्वेश्चन। ठीक है, तो हमने पूछा गया है कि प्रोफेसर सूर्या थे, इन्होंने मॉड्यूल 9 में मेंशन किए थे वेरियस इंक्यूबेशन फैसिलिटीज which are present at which institute, which are present at IIT Hyderabad. ठीक है, अब ये जितने भी फैसिलिटीज हैं which includes ITIC, CFHE and FABCI, they all are present at this particular institution. However, they are catering to different domains. ठीक है, वो अलग अलग डोमेन को सपोर्ट करते हैं। डोमेन का मतलब क्या हुआ, देर आर डिफरेंट एरिया ऑफ वर्क। ओके, तो इफ यू सी द एग्जांपल्स, इसमें भी आपको कुछ अंडरस्टैंडिंग मिलेगी। जैसे आईटिक बोल रहे हैं वो इनोवेशन को सपोर्ट कर रहा है, सीएफएचई हेल्थ को, फैबसीआई एनर्जी को। उसी तरह अगर आप बाकी के ऑप्शंस देखेंगे, इमर्सिव टेक, डीप टेक, CFHE is around health, healthcare, holistic ecosystem or healthcare, and FabCI is around energy, fabrication, communication, and electronics. Right? So these are basically different domains which we are talking about. Okay. Now let's try to understand the options and then we'll proceed towards the correct answer. तो अगर हम ऑप्शंस को देखें, पहला ऑप्शन है इनोवेशन। नाउ व्हाई इट इज इनकरेक्ट इज बिकॉज इनोवेशन तो हेल्थ में भी हो सकता है और एनर्जी सेक्टर में भी हो सकता है, राइट? सो इनोवेशन इज नॉट अ सेक्टर इन इटसेल्फ, इट कैन हैपन इन एनी ऑफ दीज। ठीक है, सो पहला ऑप्शन तो हमारा हो ही नहीं सकता। दूसरे में आते हैं, XR is around immersive technology or mixed reality to be कहते हैं। Let me just check and confirm the XR tech. So XR is for extended reality. Extended reality. ठीक है, आपने मिक्स्ड रियलिटी सुना होगा, वर्चुअल रियलिटी सुना होगा। IR होता है वर्चुअल रियलिटी एंड XR इज एक्सटेंडेड रियलिटी। ठीक है, same as is healthcare, FabCI is fabrication. Alright. Now fabrication is again a activity. You can fabricate components for healthcare. You can fabricate components for XR tech. So again, this does not appear the correct answer. आगे बढ़ते हैं। iTech says deep tech, holistic ecosystem and communication industry. Now, once again, if you see CFHE, holistic ecosystem is something which is again applicable to any of the other sectors. ये ऐसी चीज है कि एनर्जी सेक्टर में भी आ सकती है, हेल्थ में भी आ सकती है, डीप टेक में भी आ सकती है। बिकॉज होलिस्टिक इज मोर लाइक कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव, है ना, पूरे चीज को एक बड़े दायरे में देखना, समग्र। So this does not appear to be comprehensive. So which means that if we deduce that these three are incorrect, then our obvious choice would be the D part, which is deep tech, healthcare and products. And that is very much evident from the content screenshot which you are able to see in your screen. So as I mentioned, these are all facilities at the IIT Hyderabad incubation. This is ITIC, CFHE and FabCI. And ITIC is linked with the deep tech, CFHE with the healthcare and FabCI with the electronics. And if you see the full form, ITIC is IIT Hyderabad Technology Incubation Center. So technology इसके नाम में ही है, T stands for technology here, and it is referring to the deep tech. CFHE पे आते हैं, Center for Healthcare Entrepreneurship. So ये health related है. So there H is important. And FAB CI is fabless chip design incubator, which is associated with the electronics part, electronics proper. तो अगर हम देखें our correct answer for question number 1 is option D. And if we have gone through our discussion, we were able to deduce that, A, B, and C does not depend over the correct answers. It is only the option D. आगे बढ़ते हैं. Question number 2 says, as discussed in the module 9 by Dr. Nakul, an idea has complex relationship with which of these aspects? So Nakul जो है वो भी IT के alumni हैं और he gave many of the examples. Basically, he had been invited to share some examples from the startups. And he mentioned that, an idea always has a complex relationship with which of the three aspects, which of these aspects, not three. The options are customer, complement, supplier, and investor. So think about it. What would be the right answer? Okay, so we have got one of the votes for A, B, and C. The vote is given to customer, compliments, and supply. All right? All right. Let's do the screen validation. Now, very clearly, if you see, he says that a startup idea is associated with customer, complements, supplier, and substitutes. So, if you remember this particular image, you can also address a question that can be about having substitute as one of the options. Yeah. So, a very good attempt. These three are the correct answers. And अगर option में substitute होता वो भी एक सही जवाब होता, ठीक है? So you might find a different question with a different option. The correct answer, as you have correctly mentioned, is A, B, and C, which is the customer, compliments, and supplier. Very well then. आगे बढ़ते हैं. So read the question first and then we'll be discussing it. एक बार थोड़ा उसको समझिए, सोचिए क्या क्वेश्चन है. Try to attempt it from your end and फिर हम इसको figure out करते हैं. Question pertains to the case of pre-able case study by Professor Renu. Question says, as mentioned in the Be Able case study, Professor Renu in the module 9, what were some of the common issues faced by the people with neurological problems? जो न्यूरोलॉजिकल प्रॉब्लम सफर करते हैं लोग उनके हिसाब से को क्या कॉमन इश्यूज आ रहे थे The options are lack of digital documentation, travel burden, lack of job opportunities, and lack of respect. These are the four options. So we are basically trying to understand the problems faced by the people who suffer from neurological issues and problems. तो जो बी एबल केस था वो बेसिकली इसको एड्रेस करने की कोशिश कर रहा था लैक ऑफ डिजिटल डॉक्यूमेंटेशन तो डिजिटल डॉक्यूमेंटेशन की कमी थी ट्रैवल बर्डन यात्रा के दौरान बहुत समस्याएं थी लैक ऑफ जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज एम्प्लॉयमेंट इश्यूज बेरोजगारी लैक ऑफ रिस्पेक्ट let's look at the screen validation. So the problem we highlighted was, the correct answers, by the way, are travel burden and digital documentation. But let's try to understand the two stakeholders, right? There are two different stakeholders. From a patient perspective, देयर वाज अ कन्वीनियंस कॉस्ट। आपको वहां जाना है, उस सेंटर पे जाना पड़ रहा है, आपको कम्यूट करना पड़ रहा है, जिसमें आपके पैसे खर्च हो रहे हैं। देयर इज अ लैक ऑफ मोटिवेशन, doesn't leverage neuroplasticity, lack of objective assessment, और थेरेपिस्ट की दृष्टि से भी patient don't adhere to therapy, and lack of centralized and digital documentation, right? So the correct answer for the question stands A and B, which is lack of digital documentation and travel burden. Okay. क्वेश्चन 4 पे हम आगे बढ़ते हैं। ऑलराइट, हम क्वेश्चन 4 पे आगे बढ़ते हैं। द क्वेश्चन सेज, as discussed by Professor Nakul in Module 9, the startup Organico makes a range of skincare products made from, okay, so Organico क्या है? It's a startup जो कि स्किन केयर प्रोडक्ट्स बनाती है। But for that they use something as raw material, and this raw material is basically a certain type of milk. So the question is, which milk is basically used to develop skincare products? The options are donkey milk, cow milk, goat milk, and camel milk. So you can take some time, just recall the week 8 content, sorry, the week 9 content, wherein Professor Nakul was discussing about a few startups, that included an example from Famte as well as Organico. And by the way, Organico was recently in Shark Tank as well. Shark Tank में भी they exhibited themselves, right? So they utilize a very interesting model. I mean, the correct answer basically lies in their cause. तो इनमें से ही एक एनिमल था that was over abused in terms of the workload. So बहुत ज्यादा काम कराया जा रहा था, and people were not aware of the value of their milk. ठीक है. Now let us try to see the options. Now cow milk is something which everybody is aware of, extensively aware of, and then people drink as well. Same is the case with goat milk, although if you see, I mean, these two are also quite consumed in the Indian villages. In fact, Amul has came up with camel milk as well. So that is also available in their inventory, in their menus. So the potential of bottom three have been already explored. So goat milk has been said that if you have issues related to liver ailments and like that, goat milk is actually very very beneficial. और गांव में आज भी गाय का दूध पिया जाता है, और जो शहर के लोग हैं, the urban scenarios, they are not much aware of these aspects. Likewise, Amul also, has leveraged on the potential of camel milk. Okay, so if you go to a Amul store, at certain locations, probably you might get that as well. What we have not seen is the understanding of and the benefits of donkey milk. Okay. So before we tell the correct answer, let's look at two aspects. So there has to be a validation proof. So we say Amul camel milk, right? If you see, Amul has its own offerings in terms of camel milk. See, it comes in the form of milk powder as well as Amul milk, camel milk. So, the options are there. And in fact, if you see, it can also come in different flavors, right? So things are available. Let's try to search for goat milk. So I don't think you will get the example of a goat milk because it's not there in their offering. Let's try to search for donkey milk. That also you won't get because it's not a part of their offerings. However, if you search for cow milk, it will be available because it is one of their offerings. It's a long standing offering. Now let's go to Organico, referring to our question. So try to see their offerings and you see they have appeared for the Shark Tank India as well. And it says donkey milk soap. So what they are doing is, as the question mentioned and included, they had the skincare offerings, right? So they had skincare offerings in terms of donkey milk soap. And if you see, they have different aromas and different ingredients. This includes milk and charcoal honey soap, natural ingredients, cinnamon oil. Obviously, I mean, the price range is a little higher because you are getting something very unique. It's not that easily available. And the kind of feature that they are bringing from an organic perspective is something that will make its cost, a little higher and a little more premium. Yes. All right. So let's quickly show you the about us part of it, right? Because it's important to understand, how these startups come up with these ideas. So Organico, let me increase the Organico, they are social venture and a luxury brand. Okay. The moment they position themselves as luxury brand, which means that they will be having premium offerings, right? तो उसके जो products हैं उसकी costing भी high होगी. We make a range of skincare products from donkey milk. Okay, so the correct answer to the question is donkey milk. We are India's first brand to create and promote donkey milk products. So that's their positioning. They are pioneers. And we are making it 100% natural. So that is another USP. We provide livelihood to the donkey owners who suffer from seasonal unemployment and have untapped resource of donkey milk with them. So ये बहुत बड़ा market area है because donkeys have been traditionally used for transportation of materials, raw materials. उसको हम लोग सामान लाद के ले जाने के काम आते हैं बट जब सीजन नहीं रहता है कंस्ट्रक्शन का या फिर यू डोंट गेट पीपल एंड वेंडर्स these people are unemployed and they are not aware of the potential and the value of the donkey milk and that is where they are positioned themselves. So the problem which they realized was the donkey population was heading towards an all-time low and an increase in donkey owners' income would improve the situation. See how they are able to address the question. कि अगर डोंकी ओनर्स का इनकम इंप्रूव होगा तो उससे डोंकी पॉपुलेशन भी इंप्रूव होगी. We also wanted to bring about a change in skincare products people use these days. We offer 100% natural alternative of skincare to the people, right? And it was started in 2018 with an aim to bring an amalgamation of Ayurvedic and Egyptian beauty ingredients. Okay. That's again a different fusion altogether. So Ayurveda is, the Egyptian beauty ingredients. And they are working with the donkey communities. So these are the people who've been using it and, so they have also got a lot many more offers. They have increased their product range a little bit. So you also have face packs there, apart from soaps. And then they have this variation. So if you have a typical skin, you can make the choice by that. So that's again a very user specific, concern, which helps them address the or purchase the right product. Right. So this is the screen validation. So Organico is basically making uh, all the products using one particular ingredient, which is the donkey milk. These are all skincare products. And the natural ingredient is donkey milk. The correct answer is option A from. Okay. Let's proceed further to our fifth question. Which among these is a patented arm rehabilitation device which was discussed in the module 9 as a case study? तो मॉड्यूल 9 में एक केस स्टडी हुई थी आर्म रिहैबिलिटेशन डिवाइस की उसका नाम क्या था बेसिकली इट्स अ पेटेंटेड आर्म is it armable is it beable is it hand able or is it reable so in answering this question it requires a little bit of observation to the course content. So think about the correct answers and we'll take a small break and we'll return to find the correct answer of this question. So let's take a very quick break and get back to this. Okay. So meanwhile, you can ponder upon the question and try to understand what could be the right answer. All right. So let's look at the screen validation. It is arm able, wherein this is the setup they had, and on this screen there is a monitoring. So the patient is basically doing the activity that is being triggered and follows the path using this particular apparatus. The entire movement tracking is done and being saved in the cloud. And then there is a monitoring of it, right? So depending upon your condition, one can set the activity and basically set the goals for the patient. So the correct answer to the question is, which among these is the patented arm rehabilitation device which is discussed in module 9 as a case study? So the answer is arm able, right? Very well, we'll proceed with our next question. The question says, according to Professor Surya, in module 9, Dash is a stage where one starts to transition from prototype to the viable product. Okay. So you have a prototype and you're moving to a viable product. Okay. So this transition is happening in which stage? Stage in your incubation journey. Hmm? Options are incubation stage, germination stage, accelerator stage and the post stage. तो बेसिकली सूर्या प्रोफेसर सूर्या क्या पूछ रहे हैं, किस स्टेज में आप ट्रांजिशन करते हो प्रोटोटाइप से, ठीक, वाइबल प्रोडक्ट तक, ठीक है? आप प्रोटोटाइप से आपको वाइबल प्रोडक्ट तक जाना है और वो किस स्टेज पे होता है? सो दीज आर द वेरियस स्टेजेस जिनकी हम बात कर रहे हैं और इनमें से किसी एक स्टेज पे ऐसा होगा। वो किस स्टेज पे होगा? क्या वो इंक्यूबेशन स्टेज पे होगा, जर्मिनेशन पे होगा, एक्सेलरेटर पे होगा या फिर वो होस्ट स्टेज पे होगा? ठीक है। अगेन इट्स एन ऑब्जर्वेशन बेस्ड क्वेश्चन, और अगर आप रिकॉल करो, देयर वाज अ टैबुलेटेड चार्ट व्हिच वाज गिवन, जिसमें इन सेक्शंस में बेसिकली लिखा हुआ है, मेंशन्ड है the various stages, and then this part basically covers the detailings. Okay, so think about it and let me know the correct answer, and accordingly we'll discuss the question. Let's go to screen validation. So if you see, these are the stages: germination, प्री इंक्यूबेशन, इंक्यूबेशन, एक्सीलरेटर एंड होस्ट. तो अगर हम हर किसी को थोड़ा सा रिलेट करने का कोशिश करें, जर्मिनेशन में क्या हो रहा है? हैव इंक्लिनेशन इंटरेस्ट इन बीइंग एंटरप्रेन्योर, मतलब आपके अंदर एक जिज्ञासा है टू बिकम एन एंटरप्रेन्योर. You know some basics of entrepreneurship, and you want to develop your idea, and that's where the germination is there. The germination basically seed का होता है, right? Seed का germination होता है. So inclination, basics of entrepreneurship and develop your own idea. ठीक. अब आते हैं प्री इंक्यूबेशन. प्री इंक्यूबेशन में क्या हो रहा है? यू आर लीपिंग फ्रॉम आइडिएशन टू प्रोटोटाइप. ठीक है. दिस कलर इज नॉट विजिबल. ठीक. तो आइडिएशन से प्रोटोटाइप जो है वो आपका प्री इंक्यूबेशन में हो रहा है. ठीक है. दैट कैन हैपन इन टैंडम विद एकेडमिक्स. तो अगर आप पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं तो उसके साथ भी हो सकता है, या फिर एक इंक्यूबेशन इकोसिस्टम के साथ भी हो सकता है. टैंडम मतलब टुगेदर, उसके साथ. Then comes your incubation stage, which is from prototype to a viable product. हाँ, तो ये incubation में हो रहा है. Startup journey with incubator, register the startup, seed fund also possible. तो ये सारी चीजें आपकी आ रही हैं incubation stage में, है ना? Prototype to a viable product. And then you have accelerator, which is scaling and sustaining the startup, and host, which is commercially successful company. जो कि आप research park में take the facility or exposure. So the correct answer for this particular question is incubation. Let's move further. This is question number 7. As mentioned in the module 9 by Professor Renu, the phase 3 of CFHE is about what? Is it about market analysis? Is it about clinical immersion? Is it about ideation and brainstorming? Or is it about business pitch? So phase 3 क्या है? तो रिमेंबर आपने देखा होगा उसमें फेज 2 है, 3 है और 4 के बारे में. Now CHFE stands for Center for Healthcare Entrepreneurship. Right? तो अगर हम पीछे का एक एग्जांपल देखेंगे, it is the same thing. Let's just quickly validate it. You don't want misinformation to go. Center for Healthcare Entrepreneurship. It's very correct. इसका लोगों भी कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग सा ही है. Then there are people here. ठीक है. तो the question can also come regarding the logo as well. You know, that's another aspect. क्योंकि आप देखोगे CHFE का भी लोगो है और फैब चिप का भी लोगो है, आईटेक का भी लोगो है. ठीक है. तो you have multiple options. So the question might arise around the logo in itself, right? तो कैसे भी क्वेश्चन पूछा जा सकता है. सो थिंक अबाउट इट एंड लेट मी नो. टेक सम टाइम. ये क्वेश्चंस के आंसर जल्दी से क्लिक नहीं करते हैं. सो टेक सम टाइम एंड लेट मी नो व्हाट कुड बी द करेक्ट आंसर. वी आर ट्राइंग टू आस्क यू कि जो फेज 3 है CFHE प्रोसेस का, उसमें इनमें से कौन सी चीजें के बारे में बात होती है. इज इट मार्केट एनालिसिस, Is it clinical immersion? Is it ideation and brainstorming? Or is it the business pitch? वैसे हम इसके बारे में CHFE फेज 3 में डिस्कस करते हैं. हम्म. तो CFHE के फेज 3 के बारे में बता रहे हैं कि इनमें से which of them is basically describing the phase 3 of CFHE. I think we have given enough time for processing the question, absorbing the question, and you know, telling us what could be the right answer. So let's do the screen validation and get back to the correct answer. If you see, we are discussing the three phases. So we have got phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. So again, a question might come from any of these phases, right? इनमें से किसी में भी एक पे you can frame a question easily. Frame question. So अगर हम देखें phase 2 में क्या है, it's about clinical immersion, market analysis, focused immersion, need formulation and regulatory efforts. तो ये basically immersion से related है. phase 2 आपका आइडिएशन और ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग और बिजनेस इमर्शन से, ठीक है. तो यहाँ पे आपका बिजनेस इमर्शन हो रहा है, यहाँ पे आपका क्लिनिकल इमर्शन हो रहा है. वाई CFHE? अब CFHE क्या है? CFHE इज अराउंड हेल्थ केयर एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, ठीक है. हेल्थ केयर से रिलेटेड आपको एस्पेक्ट सोच रहे हैं. And then you have phase 4, which is regarding prototyping, IPR, medical device, pitch, business pitch, demo. तो देखें अगर, तो दिस इज रिगार्डिंग द क्लिनिकल इमर्शन. phase 3 आता है brainstorming and business immersion, and then phase 4 is regarding IPR and business pitch. है ना. तो देखा जाए तो gradually you are going towards the from phase 2 to phase 3 to phase 4. So the correct answer of the question CFHE process is about ideation and brainstorming. So this is the phase three. Again, you recall it. Phase three, ideation and brainstorming. Okay. If you have any questions, doubts here, let's please let me know. All right. Let's come to our eighth question. The vision of CFHE is to evolve into a platform that brings together dash towards innovation in healthcare. Now, let me give you a hint that this particular dash is basically multiple user groups. Okay, so it is not a single dash, but having multiple correct answers. All right. तो यहाँ पे विजन की बात हो रही है सीएफएचई के वजह सेंटर फॉर हेल्थ केयर एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप द विजन ऑफ सीएफएचई इज टू evolve into a platform that brings together dash towards innovation in healthcare. So could it be engineers, scientists and clinicians, designers and business administrators? Okay. Now, since it's a square box, which denotes that there are multiple correct answers. ठीक है तो इनमें से क्या सारे ही करेक्ट आंसर्स हैं और selective few? Just to give you a better clarity of CFHQ, let's try to open up the website of CFHQ Hyderabad, and you have this particular. So if you see, it's written Center for Healthcare Entrepreneurship, and these are the people who are involved and engaged with it. So if you see, they have mentioned the vision is to evolve into a platform that brings together engineers, scientists, clinicians, designers, and business administrators towards innovation in healthcare. And they also have written their mission statement as well. They are the various fellowship, incubation program, the hub and spoke model, and there are different mentors in this particular CFHE. It's headed by Professor Renu जॉन जिनका हमने सेशन भी देखा था इस पर्टिकुलर कंटेंट में see the impact and yeah, be able So the innovation we're talking about are able, है ना, ये एक्सरसाइज करने का था विद न्यूरोलॉजिकल कंडीशंस. Sense founders of CHFA include Mr. Avinash, Mr. Rajesh, and Mr. Brain John. And they have been widely covered on the social media and even different conferences, medtech companies, medtech symposium. So heading back, let's come to the validation scale. So the vision is to evolve into a platform that brings together engineers. This is the first option. Then you have scientists and clinicians. You have the second option there. Designers for basically third, and business administrators. Yes. So the correct answer is all the four of them. उसमें A, B, C, D सारे सही जवाब हैं. It's one of the rare questions where all the options are correct. But even if you mark any of the two, you'll get proportionate marking. But the point is that the vision of CHFE involves all these people coming on together to evolve it into a platform towards innovation in healthcare, and these includes engineers, scientists, and clinicians, designers, as well as business administrators. Coming on to our ninth question. As discussed by Dr. Nakul Parmeshwar, FamPay offers Dash card for teenagers. Your options are credit, postpaid, prepaid, and none of the above. अगर आपको याद होगा, FamPay करके एक कंपनी का भी जिक्र हुआ है. And the question is, it offers which type of cards to the teenagers. Think about it and let me know your correct answer. सोचिए इस पर. We are basically discussing the offerings of FamPay और जो उन्होंने टीनेजर्स के लिए प्रपोज किया था. So let's go to the screen validation. It says prepaid card for teens loved by the parents. Prepaid card for teens loved by the parents. So it's a type of a prepaid card. कौन सा है? Prepaid. ठीक है. And how it helps? It helps parents keep a check on the purchase of their kids. All right. So before we go further, let's browse over what is it that they are offering, right? I mean, obviously the content was a few before, but let's quickly see what FamPay has to offer now. I believe the FamPay has become FamApp or the FamX spending account for adults, teens. So now see if they've enhanced their bracket, right? One account for all your spends. You also get a UPI ID because UPI is now the purchase thing, your first and forever account. Make payments without a bank account. So that's what is more interesting here. Open for anyone, for everyone who are 11 years and above. And it also has a UPI payment functionality. And you get and generate the FAM coins and exciting discounts and offers. That's something which even the Google Pay is also doing. So it does not have a number. So, that's very interesting offering. It's powered by Rupee and you can design your own card with doodles. That's again a very interesting aspect. So see the type of customization they have brought in. It's built for all your money needs with a focus on financial. We help you learn everything that is to about money from saving, spending, investing, and earning. So the mission is to raise a new financially aware generation of Indians who understand the fundamentals of personal finance and are capable of making decisions in the best their long-term interest. So they started with a group of 6 friends and now they have a team of 60 plus members. So these are the founders, Kush Taneja, Sambhav Jan. Right, so you have a list of people. All these people are basically aiding and making these things work, right? So getting back, the correct answer for this question is at that time when it was made, it's a prepaid card. However, the functionality has changed a little bit. But assuming the content and what has been given in the week's content, the correct answer is what you see. It's a, oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry. The prepaid card, which is option C. Okay? It's a prepaid card. Going further towards our last question, please take your time and try to understand the question. Your startup has developed a groundbreaking medical device prototype, but you need funding. है ना? आपने एक जबरदस्त मेडिकल डिवाइस बनाया है, प्रोटोटाइप है आपके पास, बट आपको फंडिंग की जरूरत है एंड एक्सपर्टी टू कंडक्ट क्लिनिकल ट्रायल्स, राइट? तो आपके पास क्या है? ग्राउंड डिवाइस प्रोटोटाइप। So this is what you have, okay? And what you need is funding and expertise. It's like mentoring. Conduct clinical trials, ठीक है? तो आपके पास एक ग्राउंड ब्रेकिंग मेडिकल डिवाइस है और आपको चाहिए क्या? आपको चाहिए फंडिंग और एक्सपर्टी, ठीक है? इस सिचुएशन में आईआईटी हैदराबाद के किस इंक्यूबेशन फैसिलिटी से आपको सबसे ज्यादा हेल्प मिलेगी? इज इट द ई सेल, इज इट सीएफएचई, इज इट आईटिक और इज इट फैबुलस चिप डिजाइन इंक्यूबेटर? दैट इज द क्वेश्चन. थिंक अबाउट इट, ponder upon it and let me know the correct answer. The scenario based question, one of its kind, and it will help you in terms of understanding the typology of questions. So it's a very interesting question. So here we have given you a scenario of a startup. And what you need to do is you need to tell that in this scenario where you have already a groundbreaking medical prototype and you need funding as well as expertise to conduct clinical trials, in which of the incubators you will find and get both of them from an IIT Hyderabad ecosystem. Is it the ECell, is it CFHE, or is it ETIC incubator, or it's the fabless chip design incubator? Okay. So let's see the screen validation. Now, if you see, these are the three offerings which IT Hyderabad has, along with many others. So, ITIC is for deep tech startup. Okay. Fab is around fabless chip. So, it's basically for electronics. However, if you see CFHE, it's Center for Healthcare Entrepreneurship, privately funded incubator, fellowship program at with hospital. So, this is related with healthcare. तो आपका जो प्रोटोटाइप है वो भी हेल्थ केयर डोमेन में है ना. So the correct answer for the question is CFHE. All right, the correct answer. And with this, we end our set of 10 questions. So we still have 7 minutes. We'll quickly go through the content recap. Okay. So we started with Professor Surya Kumar, who is from the Department of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. Very interesting. And he did his PhD from IIT Bombay, and he was mentioning about the various facility which IIT Hyderabad has. And then he described, what is basically commercialization and what is basically entrepreneurship. So if you have an idea and you own it yourself, you get yourself incubated and you start your own company, it is the entrepreneurship. Okay. Very, very interesting way of, telling these minor, differences. Commercialization is where your idea is given to the industry through technology transfer and then they are developing it. Okay. So one way is that you yourself are working on it with your team and here you give it. So when you give it, it becomes commercialization. When you do it yourself, it is called entrepreneurship. Right. And these are the various facilities at IIT Hyderabad for research, innovation, and entrepreneurship. You've got entrepreneurship cell, minors in entrepreneurship, CFHE, which we had a lot of questions around. ITIC is IT Hyderabad Technology Incubation Center, and then you have Fab Chip Design Incubator and the Technology and Research Park from IT Hyderabad. This we have already discussed in one of our questions. These are the different stages और उसमें क्या होता है basically. And this is where the different IT Hyderabad resources are available at different stages. So if you see germination में आपका entrepreneurship cell और minor help करता है. Pre-incubation or incubation में you have these, right? This again we have already discussed. ITech is for all deep tech, healthcare CFHE and electronics Fab CI. This again we have discussed. And these are the examples that what they accept in terms of commercial potential. तो ये उन्होंने एक example दिया था कि this type of projects we accept and these are projects we reject. And these are the various programs available at ETIC and the impact created by ETIC and the grant agencies. ICI is another way of helping the startups. And then we had Professor Renjan, who is a PhD from IIT Delhi and who is in IT Hyderabad in the biomedical engineering department. And as you mentioned, the vision of CFHE was to evolve into a platform that brings together the various user personas, including engineers, scientists, clinicians, designers, and business administrators. And then you have the outcomes. The CFHE process starts with the phase one, which is the design thinking, bio design, right? और इसके बाद हमने देखा था फेज 3, 4, 2, 3, 4 जिसमें क्लिनिकल इमर्शन होता है, आइडिएशन, ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग एंड प्रोटोटाइपिंग, थिंग्स लाइक दैट. एंड देन वी हैड अ केस स्टडी ऑफ बी एबल हेल्थ जिन्होंने आर्म एबल बनाया था, right? And they did rigorous immersions in the clinic. That's very, very important to develop a unique kind of product which has value. And then you have Professor Nakul, जो entrepreneurship and management में है IIT हैदराबाद में, and he gave a lot of examples, including the startups like Organico, who uses donkey milk to come up with these skincare products. And then he described with examples of different those, how they evolved themselves in terms of idea, in terms of functionality. So that's another great case study for all those who are pursuing entrepreneurship and incubation. These are the various questions which we have already answered up till now. So with that, we end our session for today. Let me revise it and let me do a bit of talking with you guys. Sorry. So we'll stop sharing. And yes, finally we are here. So we have already covered our week 9 content, and I'm thankful to the all those learners who were here, who were trying to understand, who are part of this journey for these sort of 10 questions. I know we keep our presentations in a way wherein there is some repetitions of the protocol slides and the content recap, which might not be very much helpful to all the learners. But then, as I've already mentioned, that there are a lot of learners who visit us for the very first time, and that's where these pieces of information are very critical for them, and that's where we always keep them, right? So it's perfectly fine if you are able to submit the question, and if you don't have any query, and then you are anyways going in a great flow of your this particular course. But if you indeed have any questions, you need any help, uh, you're most welcome to join this particular course and the problem solving sessions. I hope the set of 10 questions which are in addition are helping all of you in being more aware, being more informed about the course content, and making you also sensitized towards what are the different ways in which questions can be asked, and it can be portrayed in a different way. So that's where we are trying to add value to your learning, and hope down the line you'll perform great in your final examinations. And so with that, we close our session today. Best wishes to all of you. Right. So we still have a few minutes of recording left. Let me open up the this thing, the Swayam portal, because so I will sign in and I'll quickly show you where the problem solving sessions are positioned. More like these are the resources which you can refer to. So you go to my courses, and within my courses, you will be able to see the course you have registered for, and you have to go to the course. All right. So if you see here, you have week till week 9 content, everything is there, and इसका deadline आपका कल का है. Week 10 content is already released. Let us quickly have a look. It's from corporate to entrepreneurship, And it's okay, it's a 15-minute lecture. Then you have creative ideation. So we're just trying to see the duration of the duration of the course content which is available. Yes. So here you have four lectures, in fact, uh, which is interesting. Then building POC, which is by Professor Kumaris. It's a 48-minute video. Uh, then this is again a 1 hour session for Professor Anil Gupta, and then creative ideation is again 20 minutes. So you have around 3 hour content, 2 to 3 hour content for the week 10. And the week 10 deadline is, let's have a look at it, is 2nd of October. Okay, it's a Gandhi Jayanti. And let me just quickly show you the uh, transcripts, whether they have been able to upload or not. Because there was a learner who discussed that, the transcripts are not available. And yes, I mean, it's available till week 5 content only. So that stays there. And this is where you can actually access the problem solving sessions. All right. So you click here, and these are all the sessions. So by tomorrow, you'll also find data for week 9. Okay. And the PDF will be uploaded at the drive. All right. Yes. I hope with this we'll be able to, yeah, correct. Okay. So guys, once again, thank you so much for being there. And we'll continue our sessions till week 12 is complete. Thank you so much. Dhanyabad.